Hey, good morning, everybody. Today is March 4th, and today we march forth. Your state capital, nationwide, I think it's like noon to 3 or something like that. So I'm making this video today in response to something I watched this morning. Mike Johnson saying, we're not going to touch Medicare and Medicaid benefits, but we are going to find fraud, waste, and abuse. And he referenced $50 billion. And I know there's going to be people like 50 bill, Jared. That's a mad amount of money. It's an $880 billion budget. That's 5.68%. And I'll be real fucking honest with you. Okay? You want to squabble up over this 50 bill? Put it on the table. Show it to me. Show me the 5.68% of fraud, waste, and abuse in the Medicaid program. Okay? Because remember, the rules of the game are if it costs people, meaning like if you make this decision, people die, it's bad policy. Okay? I'm also upset because it appears Donald Trump is trying to have national parks gutted for lumber. Look, I get it. It's the most obvious, heinous shit you've ever seen in broad daylight, too. Right? Remember how I kept saying the pen is mightier than the sword? The pen is whooping ass right now. Okay? And I'm only saying that tongue in cheek because I'm as far as I'm observing, democracy is holding Donald Trump has won one lawsuit with these executive orders and presidential orders. So he's just really a fucking asshole, dude. Who the fuck fires all the park rangers and then has the forests cut down for lumber? If that isn't some hating ass shit. Who had a bad time at a park? Holy fuck. And then the whole fraud, waste, and abuse thing in Medicaid it's biting my ass. Because, you read 50 billion. They found $50 billion? Damn. It's an $880 billion budget at the least. Remember, the $880 billion they were going to cut from Medicaid was like the substantial portion of the Medicaid program, but not all of it, right? So keep in mind what Mike Johnson's entire fucking thought process, the way he sleeps at night, is that he's convinced himself that they found $50 billion in fraud, waste, and abuse within the Medicaid budget. And again, I'm here to tell you that's less than 5.68%. Think about I worked at Best Buy, and their shrink, which is employee theft, was under 6%, and corporate didn't give a fuck. The guy that hired me was like, "I'm trying to figure out who's stealing from me." Yeah, it was the old ladies. It was the old ladies that were the department heads. They would go around at night and they would take up anything that had like lost most of its value. So you have your clearance rack and your clearance rack. They were just stealing, just skimming, just a little off top, 5% of goods, and they'd been doing it, and they'd worked their way up from entry-level employee all the way to the top. Okay. Did you hear what I started out saying, though, now that I told you that two old women ran a racket at a fucking Best Buy for their entire fucking careers, never got fucking caught because their shrink was under 6%. So, like, honestly, who gives a fuck? And we're talking about Medicaid. We're talking about a program for the disabled and the elderly and the poor. And again, I just want to point out that Elon Musk does not understand that Social Security is something that you pay your money into, and then it pays you back monthly when you retire. It's a retirement program. It's a retirement savings program. Every dollar that you put in, you get out in retirement. And I don't think he understands that. So I'm trying to get the fucking word out. I'm speaking fucking loud and shit. Hey, there's a nationwide protest today. Everyone should fucking be there. Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP, veterans benefits, Social Security, all those things are on the line. That's hundreds of millions of people in the United States. And they're attacking the disabled, elderly, and poor first. Why? Because they can't afford to protest or don't show up to protest. So think about all your grandparents fuming fucking mad, voted for Donald Trump, couldn't fucking like the guy less right now, would love to go out and protest, but they're too broke, too old, or disabled and can't get out there. Okay? I still work with the public. I talk to people all day, every day. You would be surprised how many people are living paycheck to paycheck, up and down the fucking spectrum. I've been screaming it from the rooftops. They keep trying to divide us. They keep saying, look at the black guy, right? They keep being racist, right? And you're not paying attention to the fact that it's the rich versus the poor. The left versus right, we just have differences of opinion, man. We all want the same thing, right? Right? We want our rights. We love the U.S. Constitution, right? We don't think that we should have a king. We're not doing that shit anymore. In fact, that's why we exist, is because there was a war and shit. There were wars and shit. Gonna go? And again, I just want to point out, I'm not saying to be violent. So there's a whole bunch of motherfuckers running around slinging fuck Jay-Z and shit. But I just want to point out that I founded the American Socialist Party. I'm going to the protest today. I'm encouraging other people to go. I'm saying bring the American flag. I'm saying bring signs. Bring Elon Musk as a terrible president. Bring signs insulting them because they're snowflakes, and it really bothers them when you're mean to them. And I don't know about you. I don't take much instruction at all. You don't have to tell me much. But if you tell me that the guy that's trying to kill me, his weakness is if you make fun of him? Oh, shit. Stormy Daniels said Donald Trump has a tiny penis like a little mushroom head. And Elon Musk is mean to people because he had a botched penis enlargement surgery. See what happens when you're kind of goofy looking and not attractive at all, and you have all the money in the world, you could just get plastic surgery and give yourself bone structure in your face so you don't look like you're melted. And then what he did was he tried to get his dick enlarged too. Like who wouldn't, by the way? If money were no fucking object, and you know what I mean? It's like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to get my dick enlarged. And that fails. So he had like a botched dick surgery. Yeah, that's why I got banned from TikTok, is because I was making fun of Elon Musk and saying like, did you hear about Elon Musk, by the way? Speaking of fucking Elon Musk, did you hear his fucking satellites are crashing to Earth and they're causing pollution and destroying the fucking ozone? Yeah, y'all don't care about that, and y'all don't even give a fuck that he has a botched penis surgery, and y'all don't give a fuck that he has like 13 kids and 2 of them are a result of conception. Meaning most of the women that are parents to his kids wouldn't fuck him to do it. Anyway, so I just want to point all this out and say, like, we can protest and boycott and strike, hit these motherfuckers in their wallets. Have you seen Tesla's stock? Holy shit. It's going down. Like, oh my God, it's just... Actually, it's like the inverse angle of the Sieg Heil salute. If you think about it, if you start where his hand ends and go the other way, that's the Tesla stock. I'm going to stop now. But I just want you all to know, like, you have to keep a good attitude, right? If you go out and protest today and you see friendly faces, if you're in Indy and you see me, say hi. But yeah, today you're totally justified in protesting. Totally justified. Not enough people are saying it. The cost of living is fucking skyrocketing. The cost of goods is insane, right? Eggs are $6 where I live. And I get it. I live in Indiana, and you're like, holy shit, Jared, it's only $6? Come on. Come on. And, yeah. Oh, and for all you people that are like, we need one big mass protest, and then you pick like Washington, D.C., which isn't a state, and it actually is a lot of like privately managed property, and like it's not a great city to protest in. I'm advocating for Indy. I'm just saying. You could shut Indy down easy, flood the streets. You're not in danger here. Chicago is probably a great place to protest. It's just expensive to stay in that area versus Indy. Yeah, and the police here, to my knowledge, have been pretty chill. Meaning as far as I can see, we don't have like a particularly violent police force. Especially you show up in enough numbers, man, and you refuse to let your buddy get dragged away, right? And that's the thing, is understand when you're going to these protests, these are peaceful protests. You do not be a provocateur, right? So you're not trying to fight. That's not what a protest is. You're gonna go stand somewhere for a few hours and actually hopefully be surrounded by people that are like-minded, and have a few conversations and meet some people and take some pictures, right? And overall, get there, get home, live to tell the fucking tale. That's your mission, right? There's a whole lot of people that are angry. I understand that you're angry right now, but that's not what you bring to a protest. Leave your anger at home and go have some joy. Go frolic. Go gallivant. Go grace these businesses that don't just call in the police, and stay open and leave their doors open and say, come inside, right? Like, come into my business, fucking inhabit my business. And bless all the business owners that aren't going to negatively interact with the populace. Today is not the day. Good to go. Today is the day to be very positive with the public, because these are, for the record, one thing I'll know about this, because I just fucking told you, you're going to run into a lot of like-minded people today, because the people that voted for Donald Trump also are the target of his policies. And so that's just like I told you, they don't protest because they're too old, disabled, or poor. So understand, you're probably going to run into a lot of like-minded people. I wouldn't, I'm getting to the point. Oh, and by the way, you cannot protest at your state house and be armed. It's against the law. So probably a taser or mace at best, if you're going to do anything. And be very careful, and go in groups if you can, and keep your head on a fucking swivel. And if you see injustice, you call it out, right? You should be looking around, seeing around what's in your environment, and making sure you're taking care of each other. Show great levels of care for one another today, right? I know you're angry. That's why you went and protested. You're going to leave that in your car. Because again, these are supposed to be nonviolent protests. You're going to be around like-minded people. There might be a counter protest. The one thing I've ever learned in my life, as someone who has been a Vox Media journalist, I was a Vox Media journalist for 6 years covering the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, no one ever gave a shit. Okay, my comment sections were fucking awful. And because I refused to engage, I didn't even read the comments for years. Eventually, the comment section died. And so what I'll leave you with is this. See counter protests today as provocateurs and paid shills. There are 8 people on earth that it makes sense for them to be counter protesting today. Think about it. Peter Thiel, David Sachs, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, right? That's 5. There's only like three more people on earth, and who cares? Here we go. So like I said, your protest is justified. You should be surrounded by like-minded individuals. It's a non-violent protest. Good to go. And understand that the people that you're protesting, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, his entire Republican administration, I would argue I'd be protesting free Palestine, Slava Ukraine. It's never a bad time to champion human rights for everybody. Although I would argue today's protest, at least as far as I understand, March 4th on March 4th, right, is aimed, I believe, this is a protest over this administration, specifically, I think, to put it in a basket. But yeah, far as I'm concerned, again, leave your anger in your car. You should be around like-minded people. You should be in a good mood. I should see happy people being happy. Understanding that as long as these protests go on and are non-violent and are allowed, go on, we're okay. We're going to be okay. Because the big bad guys, Elon Musk and Donald Trump specifically, I'm protesting, right? They don't take kindly to insult. Do with that what you will.